Welcome to Amsterdam and KubeCon CloudNativeCon 2023. Join John Furrier, Savannah Peterson, Rob Strechay, and Joep Peascott as theCUBE covers the largest conference on Kubernetes, cloud native, and open source technologies together with developers, engineers, and IT leaders from around the globe. Live coverage of KubeCon CloudNativeCon 2023 is made possible by the support of Red Hat, the CNCF, and its ecosystem partners.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to fabulous Amsterdam. We're here at KubeCon EU, and I am super excited about this panel. Low-key, just like the last one, I may have pulled some strings to make this magic happen. Thankfully, these brilliant women surrounding me were willing to jump in on the fly, and I'm just really excited. I'm pumped. I've got Ixchel next to me. Ixchel, welcome. Hello, how you doing?
Thank you very much for having me here. I'm super excited.
I can tell. You're actually giving me that day 2 mid-afternoon energy that I think we all need. I like low-key want to like take an IV off you and just under the table stick it into my arm. Aparna, thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today?
Happy to be here. I'm doing great. Thank you.
This is kind of your moment. Is that how it feels?
Yeah, I mean, it feels great. It's my first time being a co-chair for KubeCon, and first time attending a KubeCon in Europe.
Amazing.
Long time attendee of KubeCon CloudNativeCon in North America, so super excited to be here.
Yeah. And Kaslin, how you feeling? Welcome.
Feeling pretty great. This is my people. This is, I think, my 11th KubeCon.
These are our people. I know, it really does feel like that. And I'm going to give you the award today. You have the best earrings.
Thank you.
For going pure accessory. Also, like, between your shirt and your earrings, you just really...
Thank you. Ashley Willis made the earrings. Handmade.
Love that little shout out. That's like a little designer shout out. This is going to be awesome.
Ashley's in the tech community and she just likes to do this stuff.
I know, they look like fun laser cut. I used to work in 3D printing and I'm like, oh yeah, I can see what you did there.
They're amazing.
That's very exciting. They're rad. I'm glad you decided to rock them today without even knowing that you were going to be here hanging out with this fabulous panel of women. Kaslin, I'm going to keep it on you for a second. In case the audience doesn't recognize your beautiful face, what is it that you do?
I am a developer advocate at Google, where I focus on GKE, their managed Kubernetes product, Google Kubernetes Engine, and open source Kubernetes. I've been a part of open source for quite some time, though I really started contributing in 2020, and I was recently nominated to become one of the new co-chairs of SIG Contribex.
Whoa, congratulations. That's very exciting.
Thank you.
You feeling good? You having all the positive vibes from that?
Yes, though it's a little intimidating, but I've got a lot of support, so.
I love that. You know what? I think you're going to crush it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about allyship in our panel. Aparna, you mentioned your role here at KubeCon CNCF. You wear a lot of hats and have about 8 jobs, just like all the other women on the panel. Can you tell us a little bit more about your background and what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm Director of Production Engineering at Shopify, and I'm responsible for the platform engineering team there. Within the community, I'm also co-chair of the CNCF End User Developer Experience SIG, where I have the opportunity to work with an amazing group of end users of CNCF, and we get together and discuss all things related to building and operating a Kubernetes platform. So this community has really helped me learn so much and do my job better.
Love that. The community is so helpful. I think that's one of the real magic things. You can feel the energy being here. You're obviously helpful in joining me on this panel last minute, but it is a different culture. I mean, I've lived in the Silicon Valley forever. I'll just say it. It's not the most helpful ecosystem. There aren't a lot of people always reaching out, hey, how you doing? What's going on? You want to learn about this new technology or this new complicated thing like Kubernetes and really lifting you up in this open source community. It's just different. Ixchel, you're really repping the brand strong here. Tell us what you do for the Frog.
Well, actually, I'm a senior software developer. I'm also a developer advocate, but I'm, like you, wearing a lot of hats.
Quite literally.
Literally.
So punny.
Yes,
my favorite pun of the day.
Of course. Yes, I help organize conferences. I work a lot in open source. I'm part of different foundations. Right now I'm part of the OSSF Foundation, the CDF Foundation. I'm an ambassador. I sit down in so many working groups that sometimes I'm like, where am I?
Where are we?
Yes. Sometimes it's like that's
now you're
crazy.
on stage. You never know what's going to happen next.
But I'm really passionate about open source, about developers, like how to make our lives easier. Like, for crying out loud. That's the objective here.
All the snaps for that. I think making things easy and decreasing complexity, big themes of the show, big themes with Kubernetes in general, quite honestly.
Yeah.
And KubeCon's kind of a celebration of the whole ecosystem that does make those things easier. I love that. just before you three, we had wonderful Cassandra, the 19-year-old woman who teaches at Kids Day, which is extraordinarily impressive. She's a little bit of a gateway for folks, for young people to get into tech, and as she says, we don't even talk about Kubernetes, she just shows them how to make cool stuff, which I really loved. We are here to at least discuss a little bit about diversity. And this isn't going to be your average women in tech panel because we're all old enough to know what those have been like and that no men watch them. So we're going to go ahead and make sure this is a different dialogue. When I asked Cassandra, I thought this was really interesting. So Cassandra started teaching when she was 12. That was
Exactly.
Which is casual, right? Yeah, I mean, us too, right? All of us. and when I asked her, what's her goal? What does she hope happens 7 years from now? She's 19 now. You know, when she's 26, what's the conversation we're having here? And it actually kind of broke my heart, but it's true. She said, well, I hope we're not doing women in tech and diversity panels anymore. Now, I don't know about you three, I'm curious about your hot take, but I've been in the industry for 15 years and it's not a lot's changed. I would say, I mean, it's wonderful to be around three women in positions of power and leadership here within our community, and I do think there's a lot of reasons to give hope, and we certainly all are allies for each other, but do you agree? Do you feel like things are getting better? Aparna, what's your opinion? You're looking at the whole community, quite literally, and you probably have some data.
I think the key is really to think about it as like, okay, what, even if it's small, what can I do to make a difference, right? Because like you said, I've been in so many women in tech panels, and I'm like, I got into this last minute. I'm like, what are we going to talk about? Like, is it going to be the same old,
Not with this girl. Heck no, we don't do that. We don't do same old anything.
Yeah. So, I think it's really important to think about, no matter what, like, how can I make the ecosystem, the micro environment around me better. And I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing women who I've learned from and who have helped me build that network and get those connections and advance in my own career and community as well. So I think it's important to think about it as what can I do? And not just women, right? Everybody has to think about.
I love that. And the little things. I mean, even just saying, one of my company values at my company is say the nice things out loud. Exactly. And we think about so many times, you haven't given that compliment or whatever, or like, bros will like give each other the elbow up, like, nice one, bro, and whereas like, we're like, oh, it was okay. We get all like sheepish about it. Kaslin, you're in a role of extreme advocacy. You're looking at developers. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that take. I would love to see in 7 years. I don't know if that might be a little ambitious, unfortunately.
I like it. I'm going with Cassandra. Maybe we're moving as fast as quantum.
Maybe we are. But I would love to see us stop doing those. And I think issue of women in diversity in general in technology is a very difficult one to solve, as we've all talked about before. I think something that's challenging about it is that there is some nuance to it. You can't just throw out there, oh, we're going to talk about women in technology, we're going to talk about diversity.
We hired a DEI officer, like, everything's going to be fine now.
Yeah. That doesn't help, it actually hurts a lot of the time.
Not even close. Not even close.
Because when we're calling out, we need to do this special thing because there is a problem. We're calling out that there is a problem to begin with. So there's always this fine balance of we need to fix the problem, so we need to talk about it, but we also need to not make it worse by making it feel more real by doing, things that exacerbate the issue. So we have to be careful.
I love that. Give me some examples of some action steps that you're taking that are nuanced like that.
Yeah, so I am a volunteer for Ada Academy, which is a program for training gender diverse people who are working their way into technology from other fields. And I volunteer with them as an industry mentor.
Cool.
So folks in this program get two mentors. They get one person who's been through the program before, and then they get an industry mentor who can be anyone from the industry, someone who is going to help them understand what this industry is and what they're getting themselves into. And I talk to a lot
I think it's actually a big part of the barrier too.
Yes, so true. And I talk to a lot of men actually who want to help out with these kinds of things, and they're like, oh, but can I? Is my voice one of the ones that's welcome in this space? Would I just be getting in the way of these people that we're trying to get in? I'm always like, no, we need to support them. We need mentorship, and we need the folks who are there to share their knowledge. So
And have you seen some folks come through that program and go on to be super successful?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The folks that I have worked with coming through that program, I've been a mentor for like 6 or 7 mentees now, and they are so driven. They do such amazing things. It's awesome.
I tangentially find the underdog sometimes has a little extra drive, and a little extra fight.
I've even seen some of them present at KubeCon.
Love to hear that full circle on your stage coming out of your program. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Ixchel, what do you think?
Oh, so many thoughts. First of all,
I can't wait to hear them all.
I
I'm
have
pumped.
bad news. We are actually moving. Sometimes in the last 3 years, we move in the wrong direction.
We went in the wrong direction.
Yes.
No,
So
I can sense.
yes, we had more women leaving and not returning after the pandemic. So we did
They're the
move.
ones who had to teach their kids at home.
Yes. So we are still moving in the right direction, but not as fast as possible. So that depresses me a little bit because I know other community. I have seen other communities where they have this ratio that it's like, how did you do it? Like, I honestly go and ask, how did you manage? Like, what is the secret sauce?
Yeah.
What should we be doing? Because in the Java community where I'm from, we're actually worse than this one. Let me tell you that you are teaching us some things that the Java community doesn't have. Our ratio is even lower. So I'm the one that is like,
You should be the face of Java then.
we should be doing something here. Like, well, anyway.
What do you think is the resistance in that? Why do you think we're not changing? Why do you think it's not getting better?
So many reasons. First of all, people do not recognize that we have a problem. I sit down with a lot of
They think we solved it when we put 3 women in power. And
like what you said, we already have an officer, we have a program. That's it, isn't it? Like, that's the only thing.
Right,
that
it's all
it
done.
takes.
Women feel empowered at the organization, right?
Yes, no. But you need, like, and for example, you still have these confusing ideas like this is a women in tech breakfast and men shouldn't go. I'm like, no, you should go because we need allies. You need to be a mentor. Of course, I also part of the mentorship program online, not for like a little bit like that, but it's for refugees, for example, people that really want to go into technology and they are like learning at odd hours of the day. So that's an interesting one. So, but we
that's
still
actually a great point. Yeah.
Yes, it is because they need like they are
schedule flexibility.
Exactly.
It's so simple, but some companies are so rigid about stuff like that. Being fully async or having flexible hours, it makes a big difference.
Totally. And the learning process can be at different hours.
Of course. And everyone's brain is more excited at different times of the day. You know, we don't know what we're doing. We're all jet lagged. Nobody even knows what day it is half the time when we go to shows like this. So, and I mean, we're all just doing our best. You talked about something that I think is really, actually, all 3 of you did. I want to talk a little bit about allyship. And I am the first person to admit I would not be sitting where I am today or doing what I do if it weren't for a flock of middle-aged white men who have gone out of their way, identified what they saw as potential. I won't put words in their mouth, but fuck it, they weren't wrong. And and helped elevate me or help coach me through certain moments or empower me. And I what I don't like about some of the conversations that we've been having and even through some of the last few years is to your point, men feel scared to be a part of that conversation. They don't know if they can attend, they don't know if they're welcome, they're just trying to get out of our way. It can't just be a conversation we're having in the ladies' room, which is what it feels like half the time and what it's been for a really long time. And it really it deeply disappoints me. One of my friends did something actually extraordinarily clever. Matt, I'm giving you a big shout out right now. In the UK, they call it Silicon Beach over there. I'm not exactly sure he's going to the beach in London. And anyway, we'll just leave that. But he had the lineup was all women, but he didn't make a big deal out of it. So when people just showed up to the event, all female lineup, and he brought it up at the end. And the gender ratio is 50-50 pretty much in the room, which was cool. Because the women we do bring out the other women at least to come see us. But on the flip side, what I really loved about that, and when I asked him, I was like, you didn't want to advertise? Because for him, it would have been a good advertisement, right? I've got this whole power-packed female lineup, blah, blah, blah. Because if I did, the men wouldn't come. And it totally broke my heart because how many times have we been in an all-male lineup forever?
So true.
But I think, I think it's really, I don't know, there's, to your point, we're going sometimes in the wrong direction, and I don't think we're as far along the path as we might think we are. And I think seeing is believing. So I'm hoping that if you're a young woman right now watching this program, or anyone of any gender diversity first of all, we celebrate you. We're here to empower you. We're here to be your ally. But more importantly, keep fighting the good fight. We're definitely out here. We're definitely going to try. What have been some of the stepping stones? You're all in like extremely cool. I feel cooler sitting at this table right now having you all here. What have been some of the stepping stones that have helped you get to where you are? Aparna, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
This is your show.
Yeah, sounds. And I'll start with the example of like how CNCF does it, right? Like when we do review the proposals and decide who to invite to speak in the conference, we are really intentional about gender diversity. We are very intentional about giving the opportunity to first-time conference speakers, right? Because like you apply to speak at any conference, they're like, give me the video of your previous conference talk, but I don't have one. So what do I do, right? And then also being intentional about like this is Amsterdam, so we really prioritize European speakers so that they are able to speak within their own community and share ideas among themselves. So
and bring their community in. To this community.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's really about like being objective about things. And I'll give you an example, like when there's a really important project at work and you want to identify a leader to drive the project, the obvious choice would be like the loudest person in the room, and more often than not it's not the woman who's the loudest voice in the room. So again, it's about coming up with like a very objective criteria, like okay, what do we want this leader to do, and what are the qualifications of this leader, and then cast a wide net. Look at all the leaders in the organization. Look at the women, because they are probably not going to raise their hand and be the loudest voice in the room.
Is hard.
And so I think just turning everything objective and being intentional about things really helps.
What are so you mentioned really being strict in criteria for speaking. I love that, because I became a host and a speaker because I saw too many boring guys on stage, and I literally just sat there one day and I was like, I can do better than they can. Forget this. Like I'm just going to make a career out of this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
I feel like you just had a moment.
You say something, because usually one of the critiques, and let me tell you that at the beginning it affected a lot of my career. They were like, people coming up to me and saying, you have that spot because you're a woman. I'm like,
I just felt that in my soul.
Yep. And I'm like,
oh my God.
I mean, women, we're damn good. We are not loud, but we are damn good. And if you see a woman in technology, like, listen to her, because she's flourishing in an environment that is totally
shit on her the entire time.
Of her. So you want somebody
and probably sexually assaulted her and God knows what else.
So if you want somebody that knows how to solve problems, that's her. Do you know someone that is like enduring and knows how to continue?
Resilience.
And is passionate, because you require passionate, you require intelligence, you require like love for technology and to give out to the community, because if you see all ourselves, we are giving back to the community.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. You have to be objective.
You just nailed it.
You have to be objective, because the place that we are having here is not because we have something different here.
Yeah.
It's because we are good from here to here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it.
I just got goosebumps. First of all, that was like, wow. But you're absolutely spot on. It was actually a theme of KubeCon. I was there in October 2021 in LA. Mm-hmm. Totally different vibe. Sidebar, we've come a long way since then. But the theme was resilience realized, I think, or something like that. And it really, as you were thinking about that, I'm like, wow, how appropriate is that? Because you're right. We have had to fight harder and to endure so much, like because you're a woman, or I mean, I'm a tall blonde woman, you know what they say about that? Oh, how'd you get here? Yeah, I'm sure. No, I didn't suck my dick here, actually. I fucking used my mind. And believe it or not, that's the most powerful thing that all of us have here. And I hate that, like, that phone call. I'm sure all of us have gotten that phone call. Well, I guess you kind of got that phone call yesterday. This is different, as I'm sure you can tell. But get that phone call, they're like, oh, there's 3 men on a panel. Can you join us to be the woman? Mm-hmm. Oh, but we don't have any more speaker budget, or we don't have any more whatever. But, well, like, you can just
I should have a days since calendar in my...
Seriously, though, it's one of those things, like, don't do that if you're an organizer. Start with the right people for this stage. So just quickly, what Was there a lot of diversity? I've been sitting here on our stage, unfortunately, and so not getting to see a lot of your stage. What was the diversity like for the lineup this year?
The foundation will publish a transparency report like shortly after.
I always look forward to that.
Yeah,
actually, I read them.
But again, I don't remember the numbers top of my head, but we had specific goals, like numbers to meet, and we met or exceeded like all of those goals this year. So
that makes me feel really good.
Yeah, and I think the other thing I would like to highlight is when we are selecting the talks, we are very intentional and try to avoid groupthink.
Yeah.
Like, all three co-chairs, we individually review all of the talks and we say yes, no, or maybe independently. So we're not getting biased by each other, and we're not going like, this speaker, like, yeah, he's great. Yeah, of course you should have it, and not review the abstract.
We all know the same 10 men who speak at all of this stuff. They don't say their names. They're smart and lovely too, but they're also like.
Yeah, and I think I learned.
Fresh ideas.
Yeah, and I learned that, that's a great thing, right? Because in an interview panel, what happens is like everybody gets together and then the loudest person influences the group. So I think it's about being intentional and, countering bias.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Wow. I don't want to end this panel. Unfortunately, the nice white gentlemen in my ears are telling me that our time is up. Had to do it, baby. That was just for you. But I know we're really, really sad to do this. Ixchel, Aparna, Kaslin, seriously, thank you. Genuinely, both as a human being and as a host, we're really grateful that you were able to make the time, bring your energy. And I love the realness, the rawness, the authentic opinions. We need more of it on theCUBE. John Furrier, I hope you're listening. And thank you, the audience, for coming along this ride. I hope you learned something fun and new from all of us. You should definitely follow these ladies, follow their work, follow their leadership, and know that we're rooting for you in whatever journey you're trying to be resilient in your current life. My name's Savannah Peterson, coming to you live here from KubeCon EU in Amsterdam. We're theCUBE, the leading source for emerging tech news.